With a population of just 5.7 million people, Denmark has forged some of the best League of Legends players in the West. Sven, Bjergsen, Froggen, these players stand among the multiple legends that have come out of Denmark. In fact, Denmark has produced more League of Legends players than any other European country. Since 2013, 208 players have graced the EU LCS stage. Over 10% of them are Danish. The Danes have shifted the landscape of the European LCS. 63.5% of all games have featured at least one Dane. For the past 3 years, every single final in Europe and North America has featured at least one Dane. And for Europe, this one is no exception.
Looking for the kill, one auto, the shield, Caps does it again!
Way to start, Milko in the end.
Oh, there it is! Style points to Brox. Good body shotgun out there, it's coming straight through you. Down the quadrant.
Denmark, the European LCS is coming home.
History, the 4th consecutive EU LCS title, G2 Esports.
Misfits, the underdogs in this game. No one expected anything, but they hit hard.
Rekkles, the first Blitz King. Let's make this a clean fight.
Welcome everyone to the EU LCS Finals in Copenhagen, Denmark. Thousands of fans are showing up at the Royal Arena to watch the powerhouses G2 Esports and Fnatic fight for the title. This is the day that we've been waiting for, the entire split, and I'm very happy to be covering it. I'm EpicSkillshot supporter, together with Jacob Yamato Cannon Mebdi, Jonas Colt Anderson, and Martin the Fischio Lunge. Yes, he's here. The Danes are at the analyst desk. We tried to get in as high possible concentration of Scandinavians at the desk. It's also a Swede, maybe unfortunately, but very happy to have you here. All right.
Whoa!
A bit of animosity straight off the bat. I like it. So you guys have spoke a couple of words in Danish already to the crowd before and yesterday, but I do want you to just welcome them again. Are you guys hyped for today for the Royal Arena?
Jonas, er du hyped?
Jeg er så klar. Er du klar?
Jeg er mega klar. Danmark, er I klar?
Love it. Well, the crowd's ready, we're ready. Yesterday we were ready as well. We saw a fantastic best of 5 for the 3rd place decider between Splyce and Team Vitality. A very tense series, very intense overall, full 5 games. In the end, Splyce was victorious, and it was a hard-fought one at that.
Yeah, I mean, the start of the series, we had like stomps. Vitality won the first one, Splyce took the second one. We saw a lot of great individual performances, but in the end, it felt like Splyce's late game was a little bit better, and they punished some big mistakes from Vitality.
Yeah, Niski really was the standout player of the series, consistently playing at a really high level, and he kind of carried Splyce in the series.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Yeah.
This one was good.
I feel like overall in playoffs, Niski has been the standout player for Splyce as a whole. We had a lot of trouble beating, of course, Niski, and from our perspective, I think it's a question of just performing better in best of 5s. I look back at our history against Fnatic, H2K, we underperformed there as well, but looking towards Summer Split, we are very excited to just improve on those flaws.
Yeah, it's a learning curve for Vitality. We will be very excited to see them in summer, but let's take a look at what that 3rd place decider netted Splyce in the end. They are now the 3rd team to qualify for Rift Rivals, together with G2 and Fnatic. They also get 50 championship points. Vitality picks up 30, and today there are 90 or 70 on the line, and a spot at MSI. So it's really all about that international experience.
Definitely, and I mean, me and Yamato have been there. At the end of the year, when you are qualifying for Worlds, you really, really need these points. So I can't stress it enough that these points are so important if you want to qualify for Worlds.
That is true. Yesterday was the 3rd place decider, and just to make it clear, we're here in the pre-show, and in about 28 minutes, we'll go down to the stage to meet the players of Fnatic and G2. But first, we want to introduce everything, and we we want to give some credit to the Danish fans. And yesterday, the Fish Show, you went out on the street, you went out and mingled amongst the fans and saw what they had to say. Let's take a look.
All right, first one is going to be in English. These guys are sadly not from Denmark. Where are you from?
Sweden.
Cut. Favorite moment of the EU LCS this split?
I mean, being here.
Nice.
That's yeah.
All right, she wins. Greatest Danish jungler ever.
Oh, Svenskeren, is he Danish?
He's Danish. He's called Svenskeren even though he's Danish. It doesn't make any sense, which actually means the Swede, but that's what happens. That's what happened. Hvilken dansk spiller er den bedste nogensinde?
Ja, sådan Bjergsen fangirl. Sorry.
Det er også Bjergsen fangirl, så det jeg skal lige have 5 danske spillere. Kør, go.
Wonder, Caps, Bjergsen, Jensen og hvad den hedder, Jesses.
Og så skal du fortsætte.
Froggen.
Ja, nu tog du mine. Ej, det er skidt. Svenskeren. Hvad fanden er det nu, han hedder? Ej, jeg er helt blank.
Hvem er MVP i finalen?
Det bliver Rekkles.
Hvem er MVP for hele sæsonen?
Rekkles.
Hvem er den bedste caster i hele verden?
Det Fish Show.
Fedt. MVP of the final?
Wonder.
Det er Fish Show og Quickshot.
Quick Fish Show.
Hvad tror du egentlig finalen ender med?
Jeg tror, det bliver 3-1 eller 3-2 til Fnatic.
Fnatic og G2.
Obviously Fnatic. Fnatic.
Score?
3-2.
Fnatic. G2, of course.
Fnatic.
Fnatic.
G2. Fnatic.
G2.
I think Fnatic's gonna win. I hope so.
Score?
3-0. Maybe I hope 3-2 because
More games.
that will be hype. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy the event.
Wonderful. A little bit of fan service. I think you may have a future in those on-the-street interviews and then getting opinions from
I mean, it was very fun. I got to talk to a lot of different people, a lot of different opinions, but I will say most of them towards Fnatic winning the final. So there's some fan favorites.
Yeah, it's true, and I think it's just a wonderful occasion. We also saw the video at the beginning, at the top, how many Danish players have actually graced the history of the EU LCS. So fantastic to have an event here. I think you agree, Cole.
I'm surprised you didn't mention me.
Yeah, nobody mentioned.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked about greatest Danish jungler. I was hoping someone would say his name.
Yeah, it's
No,
a name change. It's
sadly.
too difficult. It's too difficult. Well, in any case, as we get ready for tonight's action, we also have to highlight one player that stood above the rest during the regular season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our 2018 EU LCS Spring MVP.
Ruin. Look at the damage.
Cataclysm comes out as well, and Boxer and Rekkles just go unstoppable there. Fnatic are going to try and chase on towards the rest of Giants. The double knockback with the never move, the knockup from Chaos. Guipo coming in for the side as well. There's just nothing you can do. There's the triple kill. Rekkles gets the quadra, going for the penta. What a way to cap it up! But no!
And here we go, looking for selfie redemption, but I don't know if H2K will be redeemed. The Emperor's Divide divides absolutely nothing, and it's a shutdown. Rekkles trying to prove that he can make the plays too. A triple kill on the Xayah, and that might be it right now. Now running in, Rekkles 640, he's going to try to kill Sanity, he's going to grab one back, leads right back out, that's the double!
Here comes the ace in the hole, the ignite, the first blood! Pichu's getting caught out as well by Boxer Featherstorm, but he's locked in place. The bindings connect, it's a double for Rekkles.
Who picks up his kill? Now playing chase down Rekkles, oh, he's godlike!
He needs to hit the Nexus, and Rekkles with the solo cap, and he wins the game!
Rekkles, congratulations on getting MVP for the second time in a row. What does it mean to you to win this title again?
The last time it wasn't that great, as everyone could probably see, so now that we're here in Denmark and we're about to play a finals, it feels much better, and I think I played much better this split as well, so it actually feels like my first real MVP award in a way. And I also know I tied Trick now as the second in a row, so maybe in summer I'll go for a third one and then break the history books.
We'll see about that. And you? You said it, in Paris it was a difficult time for you, but now you made it to finals after 2 years. What does it mean to you to be playing on this stage today?
Well, it's been a long time now since I played the finals, and like the last time it was in Sweden as well, so it was very special. And in a way, Denmark feels a bit like home. I recognize a lot of the people here, and there's a lot of Swedes here as well today. So it's just a great experience, and I think this is probably the first team as well that you can clearly say that I'm the leader in it as well. So it's a dream final for me, and I really want to make sure that I step it up today and bring home the trophy for us.
Well, you said it, many people are cheering for you today. Is there anything you would like to say to them?
Well, I don't know any Danish words, but thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be around for such a long time, and now that we're here again, I just want to bring my team forward and let them have some spotlight as well. We have 2 Danes in our team, so I really want to make sure that they get some love today as well.
Obviously. Above all, why is it so important for you to win this final today?
Well, first of all, I don't want to give Perks the pleasure of having 5 in a row, so it would be nice to take that away from him. But also, I don't really think I've had like that great of a legacy, really. Like, I've always played really well, but I've never really won that much in comparison to other players, so it would be nice to once again get a trophy home, another MVP award, and then for summer or maybe next year, once again just break the history books and become the first player to do it all.
Congratulations again, and good luck for today, obviously. Now back to you, Shaks.
Thank you very much. A wonderful MVP for the spring split. And even though you could argue for a couple of other players, I think that nobody can doubt this decision. This is a wonderful MVP who dominated the spring split.
I think it's 100% deserved. I think for the first time in a long time, I feel like all the critics that Rekkles has ever had can be silenced. In the past 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he was the guy who cleaned up. He was the guy who just stood back and shot arrows or whatever, pressed silver ultimates. But now the critics are all silenced. Just look at the highlight reel.
Exactly, and I also love the fact that he's now a leader on this team. He really wanted to be a leader back in 2016. It was tough for him to transition into that role, but it's so different now. He's a lot older, and you can see how every player looks towards Rekkles every time Fnatic plays.
Yeah, and the story of Rekkles and Fnatic, they coincide because this is Fnatic's first final since summer 2015. It is 2 years in the making, and this is why this is such an important final and such an important moment, because this really is a project called that Fnatic has been working towards tirelessly for 2 years straight.
Definitely. Looking back at last year, we really wanted to have this final we have today. So I'm just happy we finally get this final, and I'm excited to see what kind of Fnatic show up today.
And it's always so interesting when you look at Fnatic as a brand, because they're the kind of team that needs to win every single time. Whenever they fail to make the final, it's a disappointing season. So now they've spent 2 years on rebuilding rosters, figuring out, okay, what kind of combination of players can work? What kind of coaches do we need for us to be the best team in Europe? And I think they've finally hit it with this lineup.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I also think it is a nice coincidence that the Danish players on that roster, like Caps, he is really peaking. He has had a great split again, and he's really developed and found his place as the second carry on that team.
For sure. I think if Rekkles wasn't playing, then he was probably the one that deserves the MVP, because he carried a lot of games too. I think they solved a lot of issues that they had with playing with the jungler in the mid lane. And I think right now Fnatic is looking like a team with very little flaws.
They look like the team to beat. And well, as G2's coach, YoungBuck, he won 4 titles. But tonight he is on the other side. He is looking for his 5th title, but this time around with Fnatic. Let's get down to the stage with Laura. She's standing by with YoungBuck.
Hi everyone, Laure here, and I'm with YoungBuck before the grand final. Thank you very much for joining me today. This year, you're competing against the current champions. How does it feel?
I'm a lot more excited than usual because I'm playing against my old team with a new team, so I want to prove myself even more than usual. And on top of that, you know, it's me and Perks who's going to get that 5th title, and I really want to win it, and I really don't want him to win it today. So yeah, I feel way more excited than ever before.
You made many improvements with Fnatic over the split. What can you tell me about your players right now?
Right now we're in tip-top shape, and we're ready to beat G2.
Any specifics or strategies you can tell me?
Well, we're expecting them to play through top lane, so we have prepared the ability to match that, or to just completely shy away from that and put all our resources into the bot lane or mid lane.
And how is Bwipo feeling about this match?
He said a lot of wise words. He says the pressure is not on me to perform, but the pressure is on Wunder to perform, because if he does not perform well, then G2 is not going to win.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck for today.
Good stuff. It's still weird to see YoungBuck in that Fnatic jersey, but he's doing well. And when I asked Perks and Rekkles a couple of weeks ago, no, Caps and Rekkles a couple of weeks ago in a post-game lobby, what makes a difference? Why is it that you guys are so strong? He said, it's all Joey. It's all Joey that's doing so well. So he must bring something to that team.
I actually had the pleasure of working with him in the past, and he's just a very, very calm guy that kind of collects everyone in a unit, and that is also what he's kind of brought to Fnatic. Playing as a unit, not this like chaos style where they go for more individual plays. I know we hate that word.
But it's fair.
But I mean, he's really bringing Fnatic together, and that's what I think is his core value.
Yeah, he's creating systems so they know what to do in-game and can practice it. And then I think probably the most important thing for this Fnatic team is he becomes the person who can untilt the players if something should go wrong. Because Rekkles always talks about how the last lineup, without Joey, if they lost the game, it was all over. Not anymore.
Now that's all gone.
I think team atmosphere is such an underrated value that some people can provide. I'm super happy for YoungBuck that he finally deserves the praise, or gets the praise he deserves, because in the past, I remember talking to GT, people looked at him, he's the chef of the team, the manager of the team. Now he's getting the praise he deserves. He has a 4th-time title for a reason, and he's aiming for 5th. I think he deserves all the praise he gets.
I agree, and how absolutely epic is it that he is up against his ex-team, G2 Esports. Those are the opponents of Fnatic today, and if G2 win, they win their 5th title in a row in Europe, putting them on par with Fnatic, who also hold 5 titles. And we just got to stand still for a second with the dominance that G2 Esports has had ever since they entered the EU LCS. They have won every single split, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when G2 entered the EU LCS, everything changed. Every team that was in the LCS just played in the shadow of G2. It was about learning from G2 and getting better and catching up to G2 ever since they joined the LCS.
Yeah, we've not even seen a European team beat G2 in a playoff game. Like, that's actually insane. Over 2 years, they've been so consistent. We have to say, though, very much a different lineup now, because beforehand, we had players like Sven and Mithy that we could always rely on in these big moments. That is very changed now.
Definitely, and I think what impresses me the most is the fact that they completely rebuilt the team, and they're still in the final. They're still fighting for the championship, and that is a huge testament to the ability of the organization to put together a team.
And then we also have to talk about Perks in that mid lane. He is now in his 5th consecutive final. And let me ask you guys, is this the first time that G2 are underdogs in a final?
Yes.
Yes.
I felt like in the past when G2's rosters, when Sven and Mithy came in, and also when they had the new roster with Emperor and Trick and this entire combination, they started off with a bang because they had the identity from the beginning, and it felt like this is the way they play and this is what you have to counteract. This year, I felt like that was lacking, that was missing.
And what you always could rely on from G2 is that they would always show up in the big games. Like Sven and Mithy, Trick, they would always show up in the best of 5s. And that's why we always praised G2 so much when it mattered in the EOS, yes.
I still think, though, looking at this G2 and how they played in the semi-final, they look good. Like, they shut down Splice really hard with their beat Vitality, of course, yesterday. So G2 can go in with a lot of confidence. I think if they can get someone like Wunder going, there is definitely a way for them to win.
There is definitely a way for them to win, and let's hope for 5 games. And there's one guy who's been there for all of it with G2 Esports, their founder, Ocelote. He's been around for all that success over the past years, and right now he is standing by with Law.
Hi everyone, Laure here, and I'm with Ocelote before the grand final. Thank you very much for joining me. We talked a few weeks ago. How are your players feeling today?
It's nice. Yesterday we had dinner together, and I saw that all of them had the eye of the tiger. From before the games, they're really ambitious and hungry and eager to play already. So that's the best sign they can give me. I'm pretty confident.
You must feel so proud. It's the 5th final in a row. What does it mean to you?
It means everything, and more importantly, it means so much because so many of these players, it's pretty much their first final, and I know what it means to them to come here for the first time and show the world that they can be the best European team, and it just means the world to me, really, because I've seen these guys from the moment they joined. I've seen these guys kind of grow into the people and team and players that they are today, and it just makes me so happy, to be honest.
And how fierce are they? What can we expect from them today?
I mean, they're G2. They're here to fight. They're here to win. That's the DNA of G2 Esports. We have zero intention not to win this game.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck, obviously.
There we go. Fantastic to hear from Ocelote saying, I really feel from him as we have Amazing joining us. I almost forgot to mention the Fisio is off to cast, so Amazing is going to weigh in on the deeper analysis. Let's put it that way. But fantastic to hear from Ocelote, and he really also feels like he wants to see all these players succeed.
For sure. I think with any interaction I had with Ocelote, when I played against him in the past, he was always the guy with the drive. It's infectious to the people around him, and I think it's evident in the brand that G2 is.
So we've gone over the stories, we've gone over everything these teams have achieved in the past, but now it is about the final. Let me just cheat and look. 9 minutes and 30 seconds until we get to the opening ceremony. So it's high time that we take a look at some key players in tonight's matchup. And we're going to start off with the AD carries, Rekkles versus Yarnan. Battle of the Swedes. Now, Rekkles was just crowned MVP, and I want to know from my panel if there is a disparity and how big that disparity is between these AD carries.
So I definitely think that the bottom lane matchup in general is heavily favored for Fnatic. We saw Yarnan play better in the semi-final, was that because he was playing better, or was it because he played against weaker opponents? I think the second. So huge advantage for Fnatic in the bottom side, and I think that is kind of where their win condition is in the series overall.
Do you think that the disparity is not as big as people may think? I know that we've been talking about this, and you think there might be something more to it.
Like having prepared for Fnatic, you can see one thing that is very evident about the bot lane is that what they pick and what they draft is very predictable. They have a very small champion pool, they like to pick it early on, and I think this is something that you can attack. Also, Hylissang, sometimes his creativity can bite him and bite him back, and I think this is something that you can watch out for. Maybe catch Hylissang, watch him in his play, and I think this is where you have to attack the bot lane of Fnatic.
Yeah, I think this predictability doesn't mean it's a weakness, though. I do think that the strength from Rekkles comes within the fact that he's always able to play certain champions at a really, really high level. So basically influencing pick bans for the other team, forcing bans all the time. However, Yarnan has improved significantly, and I do think that in clutch moments, he actually steps up, and we saw it last week.
Yeah, we did. Someone who's been stepping up for G2 the entire split is Wunder in the top lane. We also heard the coach talking about that. Rather, this is going to be a huge win condition for G2, and he's Danish, so that'll help. And he's up versus Guipo. The wild card still on Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're a G2 fan, you're definitely looking at the top lane. Wunder has been the best top laner in the league this season, and I think the fact that he can both play carries and tanks is a huge factor for G2 in their ability to win.
I think what's tricky for G2 is the fact that the meta is very shaped around the tanks. We see a lot of Sion, we see a lot of Cho'Gath and Ornn, and whenever Camille and Swain is out of the picture, so we have to watch out for those bans. Maybe Wunder's going to bring back his Gangplank, but I think when he's on the carry and he can bring the outplay potential, there's a win condition for G2 for sure.
Yeah, in this meta where yesterday we also saw a slugfest of tank versus tank for 5 hours, and as interesting as that may be, do we think that Wunder has the ability or will dare to pick the carry matchups and maybe less favorable matchups, knowing that he's up against someone who's not been on this stage before?
Yeah, I do think so. Like, if you go against a rookie, you kind of want to put him in a spot where he's uncomfortable, he doesn't know quite what to expect and what to do. So Wunder, as someone that's basically like proficient on carry champions, I do think that he's going to bring back those champions to just feel Guipo out and make him uncomfortable.
I think, like if you look at our series against Fnatic, the one victory we had was when we played Camille into Cho'Gath and we really shut down Guipo. Akabosha had a 100 CS lead, and that made it rough for Fnatic, so I think that's the way in.
Yeah, and as Guipo said when we were talking to him, anything but Wunder crushing him is actually a loss for Wunder because Wunder should have the upper hand. We'll see how it goes in the games. A last matchup that I want to look at is in the mid lane, Caps versus Perkz. This really is the crowning matchup of this final. Of course, Caps on his home turf, up versus Perkz, the guy he has to take the trophy from if he wants to lift it today.
Definitely, and the question mark we had for Caps and this involves Brox as well, was their ability to play through mid. And I think they really shut down all the critics we had about it in the semi-final specifically. But on the other hand, we have Perkz, and I think in the semi-final, he didn't really show anything special. And I think when you have a player like Perkz, you need to enable him so he can be that standout player we know he can be.
Yeah, I still didn't think that he had to show up, though. I think Perkz is someone that basically, like, they didn't revolve around, they didn't play around him. He just waits for that moment to basically come in and show that he's the player of King, where he's basically making the plays happen at some point in the playoffs. Whereas Caps, so far, when the pressure hasn't been on, he's been the one that has been performing really, really well. But we haven't seen like this last step towards victory.
For Caps, you just want to see him go one step higher and have that playoff success.
Like, I'm just happy that Fnatic have finally identified their problem. For 2 years straight now, when they played with Caps, I always felt the issue that he was being left alone too often at the World Championship, previous splits as well. And now I felt like even in this regular split, they were exposed. I remember our games, we were playing Zach and we were catching caps maybe 10 times. But now, when we played against them in the best of 5, all of a sudden they're dominating the 2v2 in mid. It was very rough for us.
Very rough, and what I also thought was very entertaining is that there's a bit of revenge there. There is some harsh words on either side, and Caps, he didn't hold any punches in the EU LCS post-game lobby. Last week, he had some very choice words going up against Perks.
I mean, obviously we have Jan and we have Rekkles, but also just like we watched Splice versus G2, and I was seeing Nisqy get like 20-30 CS up in lane against Perks. So I really don't understand how he can be this cocky.
So you
actually,
are
it's really cocky
frustrated.
for someone who got super carried in the semifinals. But at the same time, I got carried too, so I'm trying to be quiet.
I love this, Caps. You were really tilted off Perks' words yesterday.
Yes,
you are so angry. So how is that going to translate onto the Rift? What are you going to do to Perks in Copenhagen?
I'm going to smash him so hard that he's going to think that it's an international tournament.
You know what? I've heard it 5 times already, but just the crowd in the Royal Arena going, ooh, is like the best thing ever.
I love it.
Why do you guys think that is, that there's so much animosity? Is that just from the side of Fnatic? They're just tired of seeing G2 and Perks win it all?
Yeah, I do think so. Honestly, like we can just accept Perks can be cocky. If you win 4 championships in a row, you have the rights to brag. And I do think that Nisqy actually stepping up in the semifinals, or now in the third place match 2, made Perks look a lot better too, because Nisqy is no one that you can just step over, and he definitely showed up too.
So the question is, we definitely think that Perks is still good and is going to be great in this matchup, but the 2v2, Broxa and Caps versus YoungBuck and Perks, how is that going to play out? Is there a difference there?
I think it's a question of jungle matchup. I think if YoungBuck is not on Olaf, I think it's going to be in favor of the Danes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and we kind of saw it in the semi-final that I feel like G2 kind of just left Perks alone, and I don't think you can do that against Fnatic, because then they will just take over the game. So a lot of pressure on YoungBuck from my side at least, because I think he's so crucial at stepping, making sure that G2 plays well.
I mean, also we can't forget that YoungBuck has never played a final, and there are these rumors from some years ago of him not showing up when it matters most. So for him, he's gonna have to slay some demons. And does it really come down to the 2v2 of Perks and YoungBuck has to be better than we have seen, or they lose here today?
Yeah, I do think so. They have to be better, because when they came into the split, we kind of expected like this YoungBuck-Perks matchup to just dominate the EU LCS, and it hasn't shown up. It hasn't happened. So for them to actually like elevate their play is something that's necessary for G2 to even have winning conditions within the games.
All right, well, let's see. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds until the opening ceremony. So it is high time that we dive into those all-important predictions for today's match. And you have a bit of time, Yamato. Who's going to win and why? Who's going to lift the trophy?
I think Fnatic's going to win. I think they're going to take it 3-1. They have the power of 2 Danes on their side as well. I think that helps a lot. I think in this case, I think Rekkles is going to overpower them in bot lane. I think G2 bot lane only looked good because they played against the weaker Spice bot lane. And I think there's too much star power in Fnatic.
One Fnatic vote?
I mean, I kind of also think that Fnatic is going to win today. Initially, before Soaz got injured, I thought this series would go very, very favored towards Fnatic. But I think with people coming in, I think this series will be much closer than what we think. And I think Fnatic is going to win 3-2.
I still do think that Fnatic is the better team overall, but we cannot ever outrule like this X factor of Perks, because honestly, when he comes to that stage, he can always bring it. And I do think that it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people expect.
I think the beauty of all this is that on paper we all agree that Fnatic is the better team, but we all know that paper burns fast as well.
And it also is a kind of the tragedy maybe of Fnatic that they haven't been able to make it to that final stage in the previous years. I heard mumbles of amazing as well. Can they do it? Do they have what it takes in this iteration of the roster to make it? And then they have to surpass G2 to do it. G2 who holds 4 titles, 4 splits in a row they have won so far. I mean, just getting past Perks is a huge assignment.
If there ever were a time where Fnatic should win a final, this is it. So
for sure,
a lot on the line for them.
Yeah, a ton of the line. We are almost ready to get down to the stage, count down the numbers and see the players finally. They have been working towards this for so long, the entire split. And tonight's series pins old and new champions against each other. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in counting down towards the start of the EU LCS Spring Finals.
Fnatic legacy is finally coming true.
We're deep down towards the bottom. Canon is going to just rain hell upon the faces of Splice. The G2 dynasty continues as they make their 5th final in a row.
It feels kind of natural to go into a final again. I'm there because I deserve to be there. I played against Rekkles for 3 years now. Both of us are the face of our team. It's expected on us to carry.
This is a dream finals for us, and if we don't take it, then I'll be extremely disappointed. I think it's just our turn. G2 just has to step aside. The spring finals is ours.
It's just unbelievable that I never went to finals in the EU LCS, and this is the first time.
Oh, look at Yanin! It's the Yanin! The carry on the backline takes out 2. The Baron goes, but Come's dead!
I felt the weight of the Fnatic legacy, and finding myself in that team are big shoes to fill.
I hope that I can show why I'm the best mid in Europe. I'm confident that we can close our games, and if they can't, then I think it's going to be a really fast series.
I'm coming for my 5th title right now, and they can't even stop me. They have no chance.
I'm going to smash him so hard that he's going to think that it's an international tournament.
If they ever want to win a split again, while I'm in this region, they have to win this split or they will not win it again.
I'm gonna make it count. I'm gonna stand there and lift the trophy again.
Welcome to the concourse of the Royal Arena in Copenhagen, Denmark. We're here in the calm before the storm, just minutes away from the spring split final. In fact, we are just meters away because behind those doors, the players are waiting. Now, I'm not yet ready to open up. I'm not yet ready for you to meet the teams. Because first, we need to step inside the arena. First, we need to meet Copenhagen. Ladies and gentlemen of Denmark, in the Royal Arena, put your hands together for the Spring Split Finals! The title is once again up for grabs, and the representation of that is our trophy. To return the trophy to the podium, I would like to ask Ocelote, G2's owner, to return it. Four-time defending champion G2 Esports once again return the trophy. Let's look back at the previous winners. Fnatic finally win the Spring Splits! Fnatic are your European Split champions! Welcome to the G2 era! They are your Summer Split champions! Perks has led his team to victory. The Nexus is the focus, and this is the G2 dynasty! And for the first time in history, the 4th consecutive EU LCS title. G2 Esports are the best team in Europe. Copenhagen, I give to you your defending champion, G2 Esports! Challenging them in the finals for the championship title, it's Fnatic! Introducing G2's top laner, the Danish Wonder! For Fnatic, their rookie top laner, Buipo! In the jungle for G2 is Europe's first blood king, Rekkles! Copenhagen, let me introduce you to Fnatic's jungler, Broxah! In the mid, four-time defending EU LCS champion, Perks! And for Fnatic, on home soil, coming for the title, Denmark meets Caps! In the AD carries, a battle for the best Swedish ADC, G2's representative, Björnen! And your summer split MVP for Fnatic, it's Rekkles! Supporting G2 Esports, it's Wooded! For Fnatic, Hillesang! Coaching G2 on stage, it's Grabs! And leading Fnatic through picks and bans is Dylan Falco! Copenhagen, for the past 5 years and 10 splits, 9 times, Fnatic and G2 have hoisted the trophy, have laid their claim on the European LCS. And for the first time in history, they will battle for the title. Put your hands together for G2 and Fnatic. Let's make this a clean fight. Copenhagen, are you ready for the Spring Split Finals?
Still alive. Watch this AD carry jump around the fight. He flashes the wall. He's getting onto Cope. The counter call is
That's a double.
He's dead. Yana jumps forward looking for the triple him as well. Perks takes it away. The carries of G2 do absolute work and shred through Splice. The G2 dynasty continues as they make their 5th final in a row.
In the pit, the Baron is going to be secured shortly. Flash, yes! It's not going to be secured! Broxah wins the smite fight! Vitality are getting wrecked! And Fnatic take a gigantic lead! It's taken 2.5 years. It's taken 5 splits. The Fnatic legacy of always making finals is finally coming true. And for the first time in 2 years, Fnatic advance to the finals. Over quick shot, Henry, joined at the cast race by Andrew Vedieste and Martin DeFicio Linger. Gentlemen, it is almost time for picks and bans.
Oh, I'm so excited, man. This is the dream matchup in the final. We have to go back to 2015, Fnatic versus Origin, since we last saw Fnatic in a big final, and now they're here again against G2 Esports.
And everybody wants that 5th game, Trevor.
Hell yeah.
So many excited fans here in Denmark. I cannot wait to kick this game off.
I do not believe we have had a more epic weekend in the making, with 5 games yesterday between Spice and Vitality, potentially more to go. Now, we are going to dive into the matchup. Gentlemen, I want you to put your thinking caps on and tell me, how do each of these teams plan to win the game, starting with the draft?
Well, I think we got to look at the top lane. We've got to look at Wonder if you are G2 Esports. This guy has been loving carries recently. The Camille, the Gangplank, hell, even the Fiora.
And he's going to love the support of this crowd, that's for sure.
He's going to want to get it on his back. He's going to put G2 on his back. And he's going to look to see if he can carry through that top side of the map.
But if you go to the bottom lane, it's Fnatic favored. They have Rekkles, the MVP, on their side. He should be able to outperform Yanan. So that actually means there's only one lane left, which is undecided right now.
Yeah, Caps versus Perks. This is one of the most anticipated matchups for so long. Whenever you see these two mid laners butt heads, you're guaranteed an exciting mid lane matchup. We already saw some great stuff yesterday from Niski and Jizuke, and now we get to see if Caps can take down the title holder.
What I love, gentlemen, is that we've got these obvious strengths in the top and bottom for the respective teams. G2 maybe stronger top, Fnatic stronger bottom, and then we've discussed the 2v2, the junglers and the mids, and how they get involved. The question I pose to you, will teams lead into their strengths, meaning G2 play top, or will they try to protect their weaknesses, meaning, for example, G2 play bot?
Well, we just heard from YoungBuck, they're preparing both things on the side of Fnatic. They can either try and shut down Wonder, or they can try and ignore him and play around the other side. We have to